Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. Today's video is on Tommy Sotomayor, a recent interaction that he had, I guess, on This Might Be Risky channel again. And I'm not gonna lie, it didn't have him looking in a very good light. But we're gonna go ahead and dissect it. Maybe if we watch it all the way through together, and it is long, by the way, maybe we can figure out what exactly went wrong here.
What? Q, you want to respond first to that? You want to respond at all to that?
Yeah, I'm curious, Tommy. Now, did you feel like she was saying to good stand-up niggas step your game up, or to niggas that's lacking?
Well, what do you mean by a good stand-up man? What is that? Like, we love to, women will put out titles that mean nothing. Like, they'll say they're strong, and they don't know what the hell that mean. I don't know if you can lift weights, or if when you put your arms up, it's going to make me hold my nose. I don't know exactly what you mean, but they love saying that they are. What's a good stand-up man?
Yeah, so in my opinion, a guy who's stand-up would be somebody who is respectful, somebody who is responsible, somebody who has a sense of self, secure, confident. Obviously, he's going to work. He's going to have some strong leadership skills, things of that nature. So
if she started talking about good stand-up men, if that's what a stand-up man is, then her baby daddy apparently wasn't that. So she's the person who shouldn't be talking about it, because she's good at picking non-stand-up men, not stand-up men. And in order for her to pick a stand-up man, she had to pick a stand-in stud.
Okay, so I'm not a stud, sir.
Okay, so we're like a minute in. This is just a clip from the actual video, but the actual video is probably somewhere around like 40 minutes. We can take the meat of it and we can talk about that, but to just go ahead and dissect the whole video is just not something I have time for. So this is where I think the conversation went wrong. So they were talking about men in general, as far as, you know, what women's gripe is. Apparently the woman in the comment section made a comment about men, which Tommy had a response to. And this part right here where he said, oh, she had to pick a stand-in stud, I think that's when he offended her. I know that some people may argue, well, the truth, you know, sometimes it doesn't really matter how it's said. It needs to be said. But I think if you're trying to convey a message sometimes to people, I don't know. I think you do need to be a little bit careful, especially when it comes to people who are homosexual. In some ways, they were already picked on enough. The point is, if that was a little bit rude, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a homosexual at all, but I can almost imagine what that would feel like if somebody said it like that. You know, she had to pick a stand-in stud. You know, obviously, this woman put herself out there. You know, if you're going to make comments about men, and then, you know, your lifestyle is known, people are going to have their opinion on it. So this is the internet for you, you guys. There is no politeness. There's no courtesy on the internet. And then nobody's here to tickle your eardrums either. So it's like you do need to kind of have a thick skin. I think that that's where I think some people go wrong. But let's let the video continue.
That's what we're not going to do. Second is...
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. I was just going by the title of the show.
Right. No, but so the woman that you are speaking about is my girlfriend. So,
but you're not a stud.
And I'm not a stud. No, I'm not a stud.
Yeah, I know it's confusing. It's confusing. I get it.
So no, I'm not a stud.
I'm lost without you.
But the thing is, it's interesting that you didn't actually answer my question. You just threw more insults at her.
Who did I? Wait. Where was the insult?
Because I asked you if you felt like she was referring to stand-up men, or guys who were less than that. And then you asked me a question.
I want to make sure I understand. Where did I insult her? Can you help me out? If I insulted anyone, how did I insult you? If you said I'm on here with a robe on.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly what you said, Tommy. You said she doesn't know how to pick a good man. She basically had to pick a stand-in stud. You know, and while that may have been true, for you to have said that about them, I mean, that's going to be offensive, especially when it comes to homosexual people, if you're making fun of their relationship. But maybe he doesn't see it that way. We also know Tommy is the type of person that really doesn't care about people's feelings. So I'm just saying that's probably what you said that was offensive. That's all.
Did you insult me?
Yeah, if I said it to be insulting. Intention matters.
No, I think that's the problem again, like we
Intention
talked about
doesn't
last
matter?
night with black folks. If someone tells the truth, and I gave the train analogy that my grandmother said, we too busy trying to find a way out by saying I don't like the way the truth was presented.
Okay, so I'm not gonna
What
let
it
you,
was.
Tommy, I'm not gonna let you derail me into this wherever the fuck you're
Even
trying to
that,
go.
was that not an insult? 'Cause I
Let's
wasn't
stick
trying
back
to
to what we
derail
were
you.
saying. I asked you a question. Hamp asked if I wanted to respond. I asked you a question. You responded to my question with a question to which I answered. Then when I answered your question, you threw more insults to say, well, her baby daddy wasn't this, that, and the third. I'm asking
It's
you,
not
do
an
you feel like
insult. She did not pick the right person.
but that
So how
doesn't
is she
go
then going
along
to
with
say to
not
people who haven't? So how is she then going to
what
say
makes it difficult?
people
What
that
makes it
aren't in her
difficult for you
life?
to answer the question?
If that's
Let's
an
start there. What
insult,
makes it
then
difficult for
calling
you to
a
answer the
man
question?
a non-stand-up, you don't know a man at all. And
What
you
makes
get to
it difficult for you
categorize
to
them as
just answer
stand-up,
that
but what you
question?
said was stand up. The things you said were stand up. A stand-up dude would still not be interested. A man who does all of that would
That
say,
doesn't
you've
matter to the
chosen.
question that I asked. Because if you take the question that I asked, I said, do you think she was referring to guys who
No,
would
she
be
was
stand
referring
up?
to any man that doesn't agree with what she's saying. Women like to do that. They place things like this. If you agree with what I'm saying, you're a good man. If you don't, you're not. That's how women couch almost everything they say.
So what in her statement made you draw that conclusion?
Because she doesn't know who you listen to what you just said. Do I think she was referring to men like X or Y?
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't know who's listening. And she only know what she's dealt with. And
Right.
what
But
she's
what
dealt
in that
with has
statement
been
made you draw that
subpar.
conclusion?
Huh?
What in that statement that you took from made you draw that conclusion?
I just said because she
That
does
she's
not
speaking.
know.
Okay.
She doesn't know who she's talking to. She doesn't know who's listening. Just because a man is not willing to put up with her doesn't, or what she brings, doesn't mean he's not a stand-up man.
And so far, now that he's explained it like that, you can't argue with what he's saying. He's actually being very truthful. And I see that the conversation has calmed down, and it should be a point where they can just agree to disagree, or they can just come together and see where the conversation can just have some conversion point. But that's not what happens.
As a matter of fact, a stand-up man is just like houses. Most men want their own house, not yours. Most men, when they see you have a nice car, they don't want to drive yours. They want to top yours. That's a man's mentality. So
Tommy,
the idea of a stand-up man is not going to go back and get what you didn't want.
I feel like we're having two different conversations, because I feel like you came on here with a pen and pad to have speaking points. And the questions that I'm asking,
but you want to talk about insults and keep doing that.
So we're having two different
conversations. Every time they do not know how to just ask a question.
This is the super chat that he's referring to. So this is generalization. Men, right?
Yes.
Men, step your game up. Do better, right? Now, what would have been better?
I want to take a moment to read it myself. Why are men so pressed when women go to other women? Step your G up. Do better. Q did better not knowing my story, so I chose. But I had options, contrary to belief, shaking my head. It's a connection y'all seemingly envy. Wow, that girl's talking pretty cocky. I mean, and the thing is like this. It sounds like Q stepped up, and that's what she just wanted. She wanted somebody to probably cash out on her, and there's probably not too many men willing to do that these days, and that's why I think a lot of women are dating other women. Now, let's be real. A lot of these women are just after a bag, and they will go after, and they won't even be 100% gay. You know, they'll be gay when it's convenient for them or when they need something. The point is, I think a lot of these women just use gay women when they're kind of like on that dry spell without the D, when there's not a guy around that's chasing them and willing to give them money, and the only guys that are around are just willing to kind of screw and dip. And that's usually after they've had a few kids by a whole bunch of dudes that don't really do anything for them, and so then they're just kind of like always with their hands out. And anytime guys meet a woman like that, it makes them run for the hills. Some of these chicks like her, the way she's talking, but I had options, contrary to belief, shaking my head. Why did you even need to say that? If your woman is right there and she stepped up and did better, and she is doing right by you, why do you even need to say you had options? That's disrespectful to her. I just feel like, what do you mean by step your game up? And I think what a lot of these women mean by that, like, be willing to pay for me and my children, even though they're not biologically yours. And that's just something that even me going into my marriage, I never actually expected of my husband. I appreciate nonetheless that my husband's a nice person and a giving person. He doesn't hold back or mistreat my child in any way. And so that's always appreciated. But it was never something that I expected. Let's just be real. And I don't know where that cocky attitude comes up, but you know, I see a lot of women who have that too. So I guess I'm not surprised.
If she said the men that I was dealing with didn't step their game up, Q did, not knowing my story. So she talking shit to men right here, not specifically those men that did her wrong. That's what he's addressing.
But you can continue to insult me, but then say what I said that actually was true is somehow an insult. So the person is on
you're
their
telling me intention doesn't matter. So if I spoke about your robe,
girl, I'm not
if I spoke about your robe with an intention of insulting you, you would take that as an insult.
I don't take anything as an insult because I don't care what you say. I'm dealing with I'm dealing with the words that came out your mouth. That's how you said it. It doesn't bother me.
I done seen you on the other show, the POV. You looking for the insults. Trust me. You're looking for them.
So let's see what just happened. She said this woman.
Okay, so now instead of just conceding to the fact that he may have actually been right in what he said, even though he didn't particularly say it in a nice way, she's gonna go ahead and start saying, well, this is what you normally do, you know. So she's trying to kind of gaslight him at this point. And the problem is, like, I know this because I've been watching Tommy Sotomayor for years, but a lot of people don't know this. If you throw gasoline at Tommy Sotomayor, he's going to ignite, and it usually doesn't turn out too pretty. Let's keep watching.
Who I don't know me. I want everybody in the audience to see what just happened. She knows me. I don't know her. I walked up to deal with what I heard. I spoke about what the man said earlier. I've literally said what these other men, I don't agree with that part, don't agree with that man. And
is Tommy like clenching a robe together? This man couldn't put a shirt on before he came on this show. What the heck?
Don't agree with that man. And they were all men. I said I didn't agree with what one woman said. You came up here looking for the insult. I seen you on the other shows.
Well, that's not how it played out. But Tommy, people can watch it though. You can say whatever you want.
I did not insult anyone. You know me. You know me, ma'am, or sir, whichever you go by. I don't know you. So I did not come up with a preconceived notion about you. You did about me, which means you came in with a bias of the discussion already. I didn't.
The people can watch it though.
I didn't do what you did.
You to say intention doesn't matter when it comes to insult. It absolutely does. Oh, if you said I had a
I don't give a shit if you insult me. I still dealt with what you said. I don't care if you insulted me. I still dealt with what you said because an insult from a lesser being to me does not bother me.
Oh my goodness, he said an insult from a lesser being. Okay, I don't know exactly what he means by that. Maybe he's saying somebody who he assumes makes less money than him, and so I don't know. Tommy must be making a pretty decent amount of money to just assume right away that she's making less money than him. I don't really understand the point in saying something like that. Anything can happen to anybody at any point. And just because you're on top right now doesn't mean you always will be. And you never want to be the kind of person that says stuff like that, because literally it can come to bite you in the butt.
Women, because you were
an insult from a lesser being. An insult from a lesser being that would not bother you. Just when you call a white person a cracker, it doesn't bother them. But if they call you a nigger, it bothers you because you're a lesser being. If you weren't, it wouldn't bother you. I'm a rich man, and a poor man calling me a rich name would not bother me. But if I call him poor, it pisses him off. If I got a big penis and you got a small one, if you make a joke about how big my penis is, what, am I going to cry? No, I'm going to laugh. But if I make a joke about how small yours is, you're going to be upset. So you're the one that's sitting up here mad and saying I'm insulting you.
But you would have been insulted if I said something about your robe. This is where you're not listening well. I said, had I said something about your robe with intention of insulting you, you would be insulted because of my intention.
Okay, this is going on way too long at this point. They're literally getting nowhere. She's not hearing him. He's not hearing her. And the fact that they're still arguing these points is like kind of stupid and childish. And I think that's why everyone on the panel is like literally sitting there looking bothered and rolling their eyes, because this is a waste of time. Like, the moderator should have shut this down. Like, okay, Tommy, time to calm down. First of all, like, you're literally yelling. You're in your house by yourself in a robe. Like, clearly you're not under no threat. There's a microphone in your face. Please stop yelling. Second of all, with the young lady, you know, and her just focusing on, oh, this and that. Like, ma'am, you were wrong to begin with, in the sense that you tried to combat what he said. He was right with what he said. Obviously, your woman did not pick a good person, you know, and that's why she needed help, and that's why you had to come in and help her. Let's be real. So obviously, if she has gripes about black men, it's because she keeps picking the wrong ones. You got offended by the fact that he said the stud part. And the thing is, if we're being real, I don't know, you know, what her personal life is like and what she deems as a stud. But if we're just going by what a general person, that the definition, I guess, the Urban Dictionary would give of a stud, this person kind of looks like that. She's got very masculine energy. And it's like, I don't know what she's wearing underneath that, but if you're the kind of woman that's literally walking around in men's clothing down to your underwear and stuff, like, and you don't think people are gonna see you as a stud, that's like kind of dumb. It's just one of those things where you literally, if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, then it's a duck. You know?